A Democrat socialist running for Congress in Washington state, actually encouraging people to break into homes as a way to combat homelessness.
Imagine I proposed a housing for all bill in Congress. Then imagine you, me, and a million of our friends took action and occupied empty houses nationwide.
Fox Nation host Tomi Lahren joins us now. Tomi, she's suggesting breaking into homes to combat the homeless crisis. This is a serious problem. Is that a serious solution?
Well, this person also refers to themselves as a Democrat socialist, so I think that you know my answer to that one. But listen, guys, this also is the mindset of the radical Democrat Party, or at least the voices that comprise the majority of the radical Democrat Party and speak for the Democrat Party as a whole. They believe that if you don't have something, you might as well just take it. Now, the leaders of their party have made this nation unaffordable for most average Americans, but instead of advocating for affordability or things that would bring prices down, that would ease the actual homeless crisis and problem in states like Washington, California, and elsewhere, they believe if you don't have it, you might as well just take it. And forget all those Americans out there that bust their butts day in and day out to afford their mortgage, to afford their rent, to afford to fill up their gas tank in Biden's unaffordable America. These Democrats don't believe that those people matter. No, why not just be lawless and take what you want?
Yeah, next comes going into a restaurant, just break in when you want food, and on it goes. Unbelievable. Meantime, Tomi, turning to the border crisis, Fox News exclusively learning that a suspected terrorist was released into the U.S. by agents and wasn't arrested for 2 weeks. So if this is the one guy that we know of, that we actually caught, how many suspected terrorists like this are not getting rearrested and are walking the streets of our country right now?
That should be the question for this administration on a daily basis, and I hope that we're asking it. But listen, 2 weeks, imagine the terror that this person could have inflicted in those 2 weeks. Imagine a national incident, a tragedy that could have occurred. I'll tell you what, though, I spent a lot of time with ICE agents in California, a sanctuary state, and something like this is actually par for the course, where ICE agents basically have to beg and ask permission to arrest criminal aliens on a daily basis. This is a problem. This is a systemic problem, not only with this administration, but with law enforcement agencies in general. And it's only going to get worse as our agencies are inundated. Title 42 ends. We're going to see a run on our border like we've never seen before. And I shudder to think who's going to slip through the cracks.
Yeah, and you know, Tomi, the Biden administration found a solution to this problem. It was called the Remain in Mexico policy. But the Biden administration is currently in front of the Supreme Court trying to fight it from being implemented.
And what's the excuse for that? That's another question this administration should be asked and should be forced to answer every single day, especially leading up to midterms. Why do you want our border to be open? Why do you want lawlessness at the southern border? Why do you not want to know who's coming into our country? This is an administration that has advocated for over 2 years for Americans to give up our rights and our freedoms in the name of health and safety, and they can't even protect our own country at our border. It is unacceptable. This should be a huge election issue, but let's hope we don't have a national tragedy before we're able to change those in power.
It certainly is an election issue. There's going to be a lot of voting happening in Texas, Georgia, Minnesota, Arkansas, and Alabama. I think it's on the minds of voters across the country. Tomi, we have to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.